Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of Calling All Devs, our weekly Q&A series where I take questions from you, the Star Citizen backer, and pose them directly to our developers, usually over Skype. And this week, because our studio is full to brim with CitizenCon crates and stuff that have come back from Austin, I'm at my other desk here in the marketing department where I normally pretend to work. Starting us off this week, we are going directly to Todd Papy, Star Citizen Live Game Director, for two questions submitted by you and voted on by you. Todd, how you doing, man?
Good. How are you doing, Jared?
I'm doing okay. I took almost all of last week off to recover from CitizenCon. So,
were you sick?
No, I just needed to decompress. I needed the break.
Needed time.
Yeah, you know,
Okay.
it's the biggest 3 months of my life, but the most rewarding 1 week of my life. So it all kind of worked out, but I just exhausted afterwards. All right, I got two questions for you.
Okay.
Submitted by the backers, voted on by the backers. Right off the bat, this one's very topical considering our demo at, or our playthrough rather, at CitizenCon. With big cities, like we showed in Lorville, how will players be made to behave in a realistic manner in these city environments? Because it would be rather strange to see people jumping off bridges into oncoming traffic to get to Dumpers Depot just like 20 seconds faster than if they walked around the other way.
Well, I guess if they jump off, they're going to deal with the consequences of dying. But as far as them running around, doing bunny hops, whatever, it really is just going to be based off of stamina. You know, and that's the only way that we're going to gate the players. Otherwise, they can run around and do whatever they want to. I'm, as a game maker and as a player, I'm not going to enforce my stance of play on anybody else, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. But you know, maybe something like three bunny hops in a row really hits your stamina hard kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So you'll. And then at that point in time, you'll have to wait for a little while, and then you can jump again.
We'll be introducing bunny hop cardio routines in the games.
Yeah.
I can see the Star Marine mode now. Never mind. All right.
Well, hopefully it'll be like goat yoga or something like that.
Star Citizen yoga. It'll happen. It'll happen. All right. Next question I got for you. Pretty sure I know what the answer for this one is, but we're going to ask. Will players have the ability to carry a quote-unquote portable hab or a sleeping bag while traveling in land vehicles that do not currently have any beds to log out?
No.
Okay.
Not right now.
Not right now. Something.
And not in the foreseeable future right now. So.
But you just don't like camping?
No, I'm not a camper, so my family will attest to that one. But we feel like the ships, and then also just proximity to either outposts or other, cities, towns. Like it would just be go stay there.
Fair enough. That's one way to drive people to the POIs.
Yeah.
All right, man. That's it. I'll let you get back to work.
All right. Take care.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye. All right, thank you so much, Todd. Now, moving I think it's like a row down the office, a CIG developer in exile. No. Steve Bender. Steve, how you doing, man?
I'm doing fine, Jared. Yourself?
I'm doing all right. I miss you. You're supposed to be in this office.
That's so nice.
You're supposed to be in this office. I shouldn't have to call Frankfurt to talk to you.
I'm out here for meetings, making sure things are moving along smoothly.
I know. Life of an animation director.
Tell me about it.
Do you remember what Calling All Devs is? I should have probably asked you beforehand. It's been a while since we've done this. Anyway, I got questions for you, or a question for you from the backers, voted on by the backers. Inner Thought. Are there plans to add animations to Inner Thought functions, such as when you click the flight ready button in your ship and having a character's arm reach out and actually push the button?
Absolutely. So one of the things that is really important for us in Star Citizen is giving you this holistic feel of being within in the world. In the case of as was described in the cockpits, being able to, when you look down and you turn the engines on, or you're manipulating the joysticks and your fingers are moving, you're about to fire the missiles and you're going to pull the trigger and fire your weapons. all of those will have tactile interactions.
Wow. Is that a challenge with all the different cockpits that we have, and knowing where those buttons are?
Well, it can be. I mean, you have to deal with it smartly. So we use a IK system for, and you may have seen this in CitizenCon when we were actually picking up glasses and putting them down and stuff like that. That allows us to smooth a animation position that is authored for one location to another. And the same sort of concept would be used here. So if I'm in a cockpit and let's say I do an animation or I capture an actor going beep over here, and in another cockpit that's actually over here, what happens is as the animation plays, it retargets its position, it blends its position into that higher location.
Right, I actually knew that. It's just 6 o'clock in the morning right now, so I forgot. But it made for a better answer, so I'm glad I asked anyway.
Sure thing.
All right, Steve, what else are you working on? Anything fun?
Yeah, a lot of stuff I can't talk about right now, though. But we're also looking at the combat AI, looking at what the next steps are, looking at what we have right there, trying to tighten that up, give it more of a sense of action, of urgency, looking at how they react to certain things that you do, and how they counter those, or being able to give them more of a feel of enemy combatants and less of a sort of, if you will, a gamey or AI result.
Cool. That's exciting. I know people combat AI. Some version of that's been in place since Arena Commander first launched with the original Bendel Swarm. But I think we're all ready for it to progress and for it to continue to evolve to be everything that we know it can be, especially with Squadron 42.
Well, from our side, what we're really focusing on right now is the ground-based combat AI. So that would be your enemy pirate characters that you saw in Sitcon and things like that, and those bring across different challenges in dealing with the various animation systems, how characters juke and jive, how they start, they run, they go up and down things that are unique to characters in a ground-based environment or a skeletal environment, like a human or something like that, that don't exist on the ship AI, which has its own particular challenges.
Well, I'm excited for the ground stuff because I'm not very good in spaceships, but I'm much better on the ground side, generally speaking.
I'm a shooting machine, Jared. Shooting machine.
Finally, before I let you go, David Pang, the animation, the emote stuff that we did at CitizenCon, by the way.
Yes.
I tried very, very hard. I couldn't get away with all my other CitizenCon things. I tried to get my own emote added, Chris Splain /Chris Splain, just with the guys like just to do a Chris explanation, and I didn't get down there, and I felt bad I couldn't make this happen. So if I'm just gonna put it out there, if maybe you want it, I'm just putting it out there. It's free.
Hey, maybe the next time you're in Austin, we can capture that.
All right, man. I'll let you get back to work.
All right. Thanks a lot, Jared.
Thanks, man.
It's good seeing you.
You. Bye.
Bye.
All right, thank you so much. And now, finally, last but certainly not least, because we did 2 questions with Todd Papy this week, we can't let him fall behind in his lead. Vehicle Pipeline Director, John Crew. John, how you doing, man?
Hello, I'm good, thanks. How are you?
I'm all right. Finally recovering after CitizenCon. It's
yeah. I was ill immediately straight after that.
I wasn't. I didn't get sick this year. I won't tell you. Zycam worked wonders, but I was just exhausted. So I just came back and it freaked everybody out when I'm like, I need to take some time off. People are like, we're gonna take days off. I'm like, yes, I am. No RTV this week. No. So I just, it's important. What do they call it? Personal health day, or taking care, or treat yourself, or I don't know what any of these things are. I just hear them being said. All right, let's get into it. I got 2 questions for you from the backers. One's a follow-up to something that you mentioned a couple weeks ago about interplay or potential interplay between the Banu Defender and the Banu Merchantman. Is there anything that we can say about that at this still relatively early point in their 2 developments?
So there's nothing I want to commit to publicly at this point. We concepted the Defender in the UK. We're building it in the UK. Or sorry, no, we're building it in Austin now.
Right.
We're building the Merchantman in the UK, or we'll be building it. So the designs of the 2, we built in some nice features that both physically and sort of gameplay wise tie the 2 together, and we've got some options there. We need to build the Defender first before we lock down which of those options we go on, but when we do, we'll talk about that probably in a ATV about the Merchantman.
This is one of those times. It's one of those times where we don't want to get anybody's hopes up. We're pursuing a couple different avenues. I'm going to take this on me here for a second. Looking at doing this, looking at doing that, looking at this, and anytime we share in the past, all the breadth of those things, and then we only pick one of those 3, we've disappointed 2/3 of the audience who, were hoping for the other 2, kind of like that. So we'll share that stuff with you guys when we have a better idea which direction we're actually going. And of course, the only constant in game development is change. It's still, it's never going to be 100%, but we do try to be responsible with the state that the information is in before we do share it. So it's still a little too early to share that. But I did want to address the question because it was a good way to share that kind of information and remind folks that all Star Citizen information has to hit certain kind of milestones of reliability before we do share them. All right, even though they are still subject to change. We're trying
at the very least, it's like the Defender is like it's designed to defend the Merchantman, clues in the name. So it's specific to defending that ship.
All right, so last question for you. Says, we were told that when Item 2.0 is fully implemented, we will be able to directly access and interact with ship components on our ships without using something like Mobi-Glass. What is the current state of that tech, and when can we expect it in the PU?
So current state of that is we are going to internally this next quarter, so quarter 4, we're going to be using the Terrapin, which people probably played around with in game and seen that behind the hatches there are components. So those are just hand placed brushes at the moment. They're not the actual physical components, but this quarter we're going to be replacing those with the actual live working components and then hooking them back up. There was a bit of technical issues we had that meant we couldn't do it before. We're now sort of getting on top of those, and the US vehicle feature team are going to be going through the rest of those hopefully this quarter. So that's step 1 of physically putting the items in the ships and connecting them up to the ships. Then the next step is using all the interaction and carrying stuff. Like we saw that at CitizenCon, picking stuff up, rotating it around.
Yep.
That's the next step for physically taking those things in and out. And because they'll be on item ports in the ship, when you disconnect it disconnects it from the ship. So you get that gameplay. And then if you've got spare ones, like you've decided to buy one and carry an item around, for example, and just left it in your ship, you'll be able to swap them out in there. That's sort of like a running repairs sort of gameplay. In reality, most people are going to try and limp to a port to use the proper UI interfaces. But we will be, we're going to actively be working on that in the next quarter. It's not going to be ready for public release in the next quarter. It'll be sometime next year. But yes, we're starting to look at it. And then once we've done that single use case on the Terrapin, that's where we can go wide. We want to get that one ship working properly, prove out all the tech, prove out any of the niggles that we need to solve before we go and do it on something like the size of the Reclaimer.
Right. If I can make a recommendation, just make Hosmer do it. Just for all of 2019, all Hosmer does is stick components in ships.
I think he would enjoy that a lot.
See, he's not here yet. We're still early. He's not here yet. So.
Yeah, I think that would be more than he can do for a year.
I just like volunteering him for crap. All right, man. I'll let you get back to work. Thank you so much.
All right. No problem.
All right.
Cheers.
Later. Well, that about wraps up this week's show. Special thanks to Todd Papy and Steve Bender and John Crew for taking their time to be here on the show with us this week. Remember that you can submit your questions for consideration each and every week up in the thread up on Spectrum, and don't forget to vote. That's the two-pronged plan. So for Calling All Devs, I'm Content Manager for Global Video Production, Jared Huckabee, and I'll see you next week, everybody.
Thanks for watching. For the latest and greatest in Star Citizen and Squadron 42, you can subscribe to our channel, or you can check out some of the other shows, and you can also head to our website at www.robertsspaceindustries.com. Thank you very much for watching.